everyone, welcome back. I'm Carrie and this is Keep It Simple DIY. I have a little bit of a different video for you today, but it's a good one, so you definitely want to stick around. This one is all about making your own personalized grocery budget because everybody has different circumstances and everybody has different needs. So I am going to show you how to make the perfect grocery budget for you. To do before we even think about building a budget is know where you stand. How much have you been spending? If you don't know this off the top of your head, which I bet you don't because most of us don't, what you need to do is go back in your bank statements and see how much you've spent over the last couple of months. If you're spending and you're not using any type of a card, let's say you're using cash and you don't have access to transactions like that, keep track over the next few months what you spend in groceries and then come on back to this video and pick up right where you left off. We need to start with a baseline or else we don't know where to go. But I don't want you to feel like you just have to start spending and you don't know how much. Definitely see how little you can spend and still have the amount of food that you need. Let's say that you are using digital money for your groceries and you're able to track it. What you want to do is go back at least 3 months and figure out how much you spent on groceries every single month. You can do this up to 12 months if you want a whole year's worth of data, but do at least 3 months. And then once you've gotten there, see if you have any trends of like certain months are higher and if you can figure out why. And if you can, know that for your plan for the future. What you want to do now that you know what you've spent for the last 3 months to a year is you want to take the average of those months. You'll do that by taking the total sum of all of the months and dividing it by the number of months. And once you have your average, this is your new number of how much you've been spending a month on average. So now that you know your baseline, this is where you're at. I want you to think about how you feel about your spending. Do you feel like you are tight every month? Do you feel like everything is great? Do you feel like I have enough money, but I haven't been having enough groceries? I would really like to start building my stockpile. What is your goal for your money? Let's say that your goal is to reduce your spending because you're feeling a little bit tight every month. What I want you to do is look at your total spending overall and reduce it by maybe 5% for the first month. Take 5% off of that and then see how you do for a month. Is 5% less than your average over the last couple of months feasible for your month spending? Try it for a month, see how it goes. If not, make adjustments as needed, but adjustments aren't necessarily add more money, subtract more money. There's many different ways to go about your grocery budget. So if your goal is to try to reduce your grocery budget amount, think about other ways that you can supplement. Can you buy in bulk? Can you buy with coupons? Are there other store discounts or promotions going on? Any type of little way to help you get down in cost is fantastic. In the past, when I've been using coupons, I've gotten over 50% off on my order, and that doesn't mean that I went and bought 500 shampoos because they were on sale. That's just the groceries that I was using, and I bought when items were on sale. So a great tip is if an item's on sale, buy that item. Let's say your weekly meal plan had steak in it and chicken's on sale, we'll buy chicken, or vice versa. Let's say that you were already planning to have chicken during the week, but chicken's not on sale, pork roast is. Pork roast is a better bang for your buck. Buy the pork roast. Buy what's on sale when it's on sale because it'll save you money and it'll help you reduce your grocery budget. If your budget seems just fine after reducing it by 5%, try reducing it by 5% again. Go little by little, either a month or two at a time with your lower amount of groceries and see how it goes. Can you keep scrimping off little bits at a time? And keep going as long as you want to reduce your grocery budget as much as you can and maybe increase your supplemental ways of couponing and such. But go to the point of where you're comfortable. The goal is that you want to have enough groceries to feed your family, you want to feel comfortable with the amount of groceries you have, and you want to feel comfortable with the amount of money you are spending on your groceries, thus the amount of money that you have that wasn't spent on groceries as well. Now let's talk about the other side of the equation. Let's say that you have been spending X amount on your groceries and you're noticing that every month you're like depleting all your groceries and you really want to start building up a stock of groceries. To start building your stock of groceries, you could do one of two things. If you have the means, you could increase your grocery budget. I would still suggest just 5% at a time as you're comfortable so we don't do too much at once. And then you also could do the same things that we just talked about. You could buy in bulk, use coupons, use store promotions. Any of those options are great ways to start building your stockpile. So you need to use whatever's best for you, and that doesn't mean just one way. You can use a little bit of all of these ways, and little by little increasing or decreasing the amount of your budget for food each month based off of how you feel you are doing. So there's no one size fits all here. It's all about where you are comfortable with your monthly grocery budget being and how much time and energy you have to put into those other sources of finding additional funds via the coupons, bulk buys, etc. So set a goal for yourself for the next month. Whether that goal is to try to be able to buy more food because of using couponing and bulk buys and buying on sale, or if you want to decrease the amount of your grocery budget because you've looked at your spending and you said, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I am spending, $1,000 per month per person in my house. That could be a bit extreme. So set a goal for yourself for the next month. What do you really want to accomplish? Do you want to increase your grocery budget so that you can increase your stockpile? Do you want to decrease your budget so that you can decrease the amount that you're spending? Or do you want to be able to have more food just by using alternative methods of purchasing your food via the sales or coupons, etc.? Now, while there's no right or wrong way or a specific amount that you should be spending on your groceries, I did want to provide just a little bit of what I've seen to kind of be the norm. I'm hearing a lot about somewhere around $150 per person per month. And it varies so highly. And of course, while $150 per person is a very solid number, it depends on a lot. It depends on how many people are in your family. If you have a smaller family, you might need a little bit more than that. If you have a larger family, you might need a little bit less than that just because, you can buy more items in bulk. Also, you might need specialty items like specifically gluten-free or dairy-free. You might have a different kind of restricted diet that causes you to need to spend more. The ultimate goal here is that you're comfortable with the amount you're spending and you're also comfortable with the amount of groceries that you have in your house. So an example here, let's say you just looked at your budget and you saw that you are spending $2,000 a month on groceries and you have 3 people in your household. Let's say you looked at that and you thought, oh my gosh, why am I spending this much money on my groceries? Well, at that point, you would want to first dig in a little bit deeper. Then after you've dug in, decide what your goal is for the next month. I'm still suggesting cutting down by 5% each month as you go, just so you can little by little kind of wean yourself off if you're used to spending so much and you don't want to be spending so much anymore. So then in this case, you would want to make sure that you're only spending around $1,900 the following month instead of $2,000. Now, on the contrary, let's say you don't have any more room to add money to your budget, but you're not having enough food. I would challenge you to start thinking about your meal planning a little bit differently. Instead of making a meal plan and going to the store and buying the ingredients, I would look at what you have on hand and then look at what's on sale at the store. Try to make a meal plan out of those items. Buy what's on sale, and then also supplement just the extra things that you need for those meals. And if you can make meals where you don't necessarily need any supplemental, by all means do that. In addition to that, make sure that you're clipping coupons and make sure that if you find a coupon or a sale, it's actually a cheaper price. So just because something's on sale doesn't mean it's a good deal. For example, let's say that the name brand cheese is 50 cents off, it's on sale, there's a coupon, but the store brand cheese is still cheaper. Don't go buy the more expensive cheese just because it's on sale. Make sure you are buying the item with the most bang for your buck. So let's say that you've gotten a raise recently, or you for some reason have a little bit extra money that you could put towards groceries that you haven't been, and you want to build your stockpile. I still suggest take just an extra 5% each month and increase slowly. Now you could build your stockpile a couple different ways. You could say that extra 5% is specifically to build my stockpile, or you could say, here's my total grocery amount. Can I buy something in a bigger bulk size because I now have a higher grocery limit? Start small, work your way up. Nothing happens quickly. Stockpiles don't happen quickly. Now, if you see something like I've been way overspending and you feel like you can knock down more than 5%, by all means, do whatever is best for you. 5% is not a one-stop shop number. It is a number that I like to start out with because it's small, and small changes are a lot easier to accomplish than big changes. Let's say you were that person with $2,000 a month groceries and you only wanted to spend $1,000. It might be really hard to accomplish $1,000 right off the bat, and I don't want you to get discouraged because you've set a goal that's so big that it's just really challenging. You know, little goals along the way will get you back there. And if you need to go 25% at a time, you can do that as well. It's up to you. Everything about your budget is customizable to your situation. Now, the final thing I have to add here is once you've set your budget for the next month, you need to have a way to know that you are not going over budget. So you need to find a way to track how much you're spending during that next month. I'm only thinking of the next month right here. After the month's over, you can plan whatever you need to for the following month, but find a way to track it. You either need to be looking in an online app to track it or be writing it down somewhere, either digitally or physically. Keep track of what you're spending so that you know how much you have for the month. And if it's hard for you to track by a whole month, I'd say break it down into possibly weeks or maybe paychecks. The hard thing is if you're paid every other week, you know, the months and the paychecks don't necessarily fall evenly. But you can break your budget up by paychecks or by weeks to give you a smaller segment. So that way you're only dealing with a portion of money at a time. And then the last thing with this is throughout the month, if you do break down your money by week or by periods, never borrow from the future week because you will constantly be indebted to yourself. If you're going to need more, change the way that you are budgeting and maybe go once a month, because then you can buy those big items in bulk instead of having to spend money on them in smaller packages. I have a ton more that I could tell you about this, and you know, even in telling you just this very high level idea of how to set your budget and how to move forward just a small bit forward, I'm already thinking like, but there's so much more I want to tell you. So if you're interested in hearing a lot more about this, leave your specific questions down below and I can answer them in a video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new here and haven't yet, please subscribe. I would love to see you. I will pop 2 extra videos up on the end screen if you're interested, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.